All right. Morning, everybody. Welcome back to 1 Million Cups. I'm sorry that I wasn't here in person last week. I had a family vacation. I wish I could say it was beautiful and relaxing. All I can say is it was beautiful. Traveling with 3 little kids was a whole new level of challenging, despite the fact that there were like 14 of us in total. So anyway, we did have a nice time. I'm glad to be back. I'm just exhausted and I'm ready for my vacation from the vacation. Whew. Anyway, for those of you, do we have any newbies in the room? 2. Awesome. It's really great to see you. I saw you checking in. I appreciate that. If everybody else could make sure to take out their phone and scan that QR code to check in. As you know, if it was your first time, you get a gift. Come on in. So we've got something for you, and I'll give that out in just a second. For you and for everybody else watching virtually, for those 1 Million Cups organization was founded by the Kauffman Foundation out of Kansas City. Ewing J. Kauffman was a billionaire who died and left a ton of money in an endowment. And they have decided, the foundation has decided to create 1 Million Cups as an organization to help caffeinate entrepreneurs 1 cup of coffee at a time. Their rules are that all chapters have to meet every Wednesday morning, sometime between whatever time in the morning and noon. So we here at Rome and the town of Trilith in Fayetteville, Georgia, meet every Wednesday from 9 to 10. Rome is kind enough to give us this space, and we've invited them in the room this morning to introduce themselves. But before I turn over the mic to them, I just want to also thank my team at Jason Hunter Design for doing all of their tireless scheduling and advertising of this event. Edwin Jarvis around the corner here, who prints some flyers. And I guess it's safe that we can put through another order now because we are officially out of them. I gave out my last flyer probably 2 weeks ago. Cody Media is picking up the tab for coffee. So he's not here this morning, but we can thank him for the caffeine. And Hero Donuts. I don't know if anybody noticed those 2 boxes over there. They're not opened, but please help yourself to some donuts. They are absolutely delicious. They are right below us, and they have way more than just donuts. We usually have a menu out, but that seems to have gone missing. So I'll have to pick up a new one from them, but they have all sorts of lunch options as well. So do you want to come up and just say hello?
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Jason. My name is Marshall Jones. I'm the general manager here from Trilith. Real quick before I get started, I'm just going to do raise your hands if you're a member of us. So I have that's how I
Awesome.
Great, sweet. So so anyway, you have never been here before, first time, or if you've been here, maybe just in this room. I wanted to let you know about some of our offerings. So we have 3 main categories of here. So co-working, which is our work. So if you see outside, we have work meeting office. It's not bad. And so co-working is what you see sitting around. And that's going to start with our basic membership. I'm going to leave this up here. I'm not going to go through everything in great detail, but you're definitely going to see the different things. But that's going to start at $139 a month. So that's going to give you access to all our locations. We have 7 here in Atlanta and in Dallas that we just opened up. And on top of that, we have meeting spaces. That's what we're in right now. We also have offices. Now those pretty long wait lists, so I don't want to give anyone too much of that, but also jump on it. Who knows, things may have been up. So our goal is to renew and inspire work, right? I think that most of us can agree that the general attitude of work is probably fairly negative. And we want to change that. We want to create a space that's going to be something that you're happy to come into, that's going to be something that's clean, that's going to do some work, but also something that's positive and inspiring. So anyway, if you'd like to learn more, we'd love for you to give you a tour. Feel free to drop by the front desk on your way out. We'd be happy to show you around and take you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marshall. Yeah, another little plug. I actually was very familiar with Rome, the brand, on the north side of Atlanta. And when I knew they were building this building, I was like, you need to get a co-working space in there, and it needs to be me like this. Like, I think I wasn't really sure what I saw, so I just didn't ask any questions. And then founders of Rome who more or less confirmed it. So as soon as it opened, I jumped on it. I was the first tenant in this building. They were doing construction all around me. I didn't even care. I just loved it. I don't know about you, but when you walk in the space, like my team loves coming to work here with me. So I was pretty adamant about bringing 1 million cups here. And just for what it's worth, we pretty much had to, I feel like, fight tooth and nail to keep it here. We're going on a 60-day periods now. So in 60 days, we'll meet again and decide if it's still in everybody's best interest to stay here. If not, we do have a backup plan. But good morning. But for now, we are here. This is still our home, and I'm glad it is. I do want to encourage everybody to grab coffee outside. One of our members, who, like I said, is just not here this morning, is flipping the bill for that. So let's take advantage. And please help yourself to some donuts. All right. Did I cover everything? Stephen, I'm going to pass the virtual torch over to you. Let me can you confirm that you can share your screen, or do I need to do something?
No, I should be able to. Oh, you want me to do it right now?
Yeah, I want to make sure that you can before I change screens and put you up on the big screen. Awesome. All right. So all right, everybody sees you now. And you should be able to see, no, everybody, hopefully, the majority of us. There we go. All right.
My turn?
Yes, sir. Take it away.
Good morning, 1 Million Cups Atlanta. Thank you for having me, actually, for a second time. It's good to be back. I am the founder and owner of My, and I know normally when you have these presentations, it's not a sales pitch and it's more about the why, but I'm going to kind of do something a little bit different this time than the why, because I've done the why before, and I kind of want to take you on a little journey with me of how I got here. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, can everybody see that? Good. Okay, as I said, I'm the founder of My Doggy Tag, the last dog tag you'll ever need, helping your lost or missing. But this is not where this journey started. I am the founder of VR Ocala, which was Ocala, Florida's first and only virtual reality playroom. I presented to 1 Million Cups in August of 2018. That failed miserably. It was a little before it ended up doing was helping Oculus sell a lot of virtual reality systems, because people would come in, try it, and go, oh my God, I have to have this. And then they would go buy their own, and I would never see them again. So that didn't work out so well. I moved on to a company called How Did We Serve You, which helps businesses get more and better feedback. I presented at 1 Million Cups in January of 2019 and also in Daytona. That has not gained traction, making the same mistakes. I believed the adage that if you build it, they will come, and had not learned yet all the things that I needed to know about how to actually get a product out there and have people know that you even exist. I came up with MetaLerts, which I actually presented here in Atlanta. Some of you may remember that. If you were in the audience, inspired by the passing of a man much like a father to me, and the medical trials that he went through and never being able to have access to the information he needed. I also presented MetaLerts in Orlando, Daytona, Seattle, San Francisco, Cleveland, Albany, Detroit, Denver, and Sacramento, as well as Atlanta. MetaLerts has traction yet. I'm struggling with getting it out there, and actually the development of My Doggy Tag has started to help that a little bit. But all these things are not why we're here today. So the question now is, what are you doing now, Steve? You're not Steve Martin, guest hosting Saturday Night Live 15 times, keep showing up just to present. So introducing My Doggy Tag, and I'm going to cue the video. Please thumbs up if you can hear it.
Love them, care for them, and protect them. But sometimes they still get out or get lost. The American Humane Association estimates over 10 million dogs and cats are lost or stolen in the U.S. every year. 1 in 3 pets will become lost at some point during their life. Each year, approximately 1.5 million shelter animals are euthanized. Pet tags help return a often get scratched and become unreadable information on them requiring a new tag. And pet tags can only hold a very limited amount of information. Some recommend getting your dog microchipped. This involves placing it into your dog's neck. If you find a lost dog, you won't know if it has a chip, and if it does, you won't be able to read it. You'll have to take the dog to a. This can take a lot of time. Remove the animal from a location that might actually be close to its home, and causes the animal all kinds of distress being handled by a stranger. We are proud to present My Doggy Tag. This silicone floor engraved tag will make helping a lost pet and provide much more protection than a standard pet tag, with none of the discomfort and difficulty of a microchip. When encountering a dog with a My Doggy Tag, a simple scan by any cell phone shows you not only the animal's name, but whatever contact information the owner chose to share, so you can quickly help the lost animal get home. In addition, the My Doggy Tag stores animals with medical information, medication, allergies, the name and contact information for their veterinarian, backup contact with the owner's name, and any other information the pet owner store and share on the tag. For less than $20, you can protect your pet today, or the pet of someone you love, and every purchase gives you 2 chances to win up to $10,000. Visit mydoggytag.com today.
Actually, I didn't mean to stop sharing it.
Your pet cannot use your.
We seem to be stuck. There we go. So some milestones. This company actually launched in just March of this year. I sold my very first tag to a neighbor on March 11th. On March 18th, I set up agreements with 2 veterinarians in Miami and 1 in Gainesville to set up displays in their clinics. On March 23rd, I got into my first retail stores, quite by accident, just happened to have a tag with me. And the manager saw it and immediately placed an order for 3 stores. On April 18th, I returned to present at 1 Million Cups in Ocala. And today I am hopefully doing the greatest presentation, at least of the day, here in 1 Million Cups Atlanta. And that's thanks to you, the audience. I appreciate you being here. So what does My Doggy Tag need? It's really mostly about word of mouth. What a lot of people don't understand when they start a business is the cost of advertising, getting the word out can really be prohibitive. If you're McDonald's and you want to introduce a pineapple marshmallow hamburger, you don't even have to advertise it. You stick it on the menu and you have so many customers that you're going to sell 1 million of them before people figure out that's probably gross. They'll advertise anyway, but the need isn't there. But for a small business that maybe has 1 or 2 products, you're almost never going to recover what you put out in advertising unless you have a lot of luck or really good contacts along the way. So we are looking to get the information out. We're looking for resellers. I'm looking for a veterinary sales rep to reach out to veterinarians across the country. Maybe a college student, set up fundraisers. I actually have somebody who just started 2 fundraisers out in California and got the first sales through them last night. I'm always looking for feedbacks, criticism, and lots of compliments. For those of you in Atlanta, if anybody is interested in a tag at mydoggytag.com, if you use the code 1MC, you can get 20% off. And I appreciate you having me here. These are what the My Doggy Tags look like. They are not metal. These are silicone. They are laser engraved. They come with a lifetime guarantee. Each tag has a unique QR code and an identifying number. The person who purchases the tags does not need an account login. They do not need a password. It's all been made very simple. And I guess this is my presentation. Hopefully you have questions and I can go into more details about the whys and the whats. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, for those of you, I usually say this in the beginning, since you guys are new. The 1 Million Cups format is technically 6 minutes of presentation followed by 20 minutes of Q&A, and there should be a second presenter scheduled, so it's sort of like the rinse and repeat type format. We here only schedule one per session because generally speaking, we end up taking a full hour to talk to one presenter, and I always hate cutting them off. So we have lots of time to talk and help Stephen develop his business further in any way that we can. 1 million cups, I told you we have to meet on Wednesdays before you. We also have to ask the presenter what we as a community can we do for you. Stephen is a serial presenter, as he said, so he knows very clearly what we were going to ask. He put that in his presentation, which I think is brilliant. I will reiterate that question though. What do you need from us? You want to bring that slide back up, or you just want to talk through it? That's fine. I actually do have some pieces of criticism, but I do want to say that I really do think it's a great idea. I actually thought your Metal Earth idea was a great idea. I think that I like this rendition of it. I think that it's probably in some weird way easier to market because people really care about their dogs or their pets. Not
Can you turn up the mics on your end?
I don't think that I can. It's all going through my laptop. Are you having trouble hearing me?
Yeah, I can barely make you out. The volume's kind of low. And I've got my speaker turned all the way up.
Yeah, that might be challenging when other people in the audience go to speak, but let me see what I can.
Yeah, I can hear you when you get closer. But if you can just repeat their questions, if I can't hear them, that'll be fine. Now I don't hear you at all.
All right, back to the computer.
There we go.
So my biggest piece of criticism actually has to do with the fact that you couldn't hear me because you relied very heavily on a video to present this entire business, and we really couldn't hear the audio. Not that we couldn't hear it at all, but the audio was very low, right? Relying on technology, as I learned this morning, as I do every Wednesday morning when we get things started, there's always something that gets in the way. And I feel like you've had good luck walking into certain pet stores, certain vet clinics, and that's you selling. That's not you pulling up a video and saying, here, watch this while I stand here quietly, right? And I think you're missing out on an opportunity to present the same way to us. I know that those videos can be really fun to make. I've actually made a few for my own company, and I buried them because it doesn't sell anything. It's just kitschy, and that's fun. Fun is cool. But I think you've really developed something now. The logo is fantastic. You've got to build a brand around it, right? And I remember this about you. It triggered me. I remember your background. Like I remember the bright light behind you and not being able to see you that clearly. And I remember that. But there's a brand component to this that I think you're missing. Yeah, it just the lighting is really important. Right. I think, if you presented this many times and you're going to meet with people virtually, I would invest in, a camera setup with lighting, a backdrop, something that shows the brand, wear the brand shirt with it on it. Like all those little things, they all just matter. It makes it feel, and please, anybody in the room, share your opinions, but it makes it feel like as a brand, as a company, you're more buttoned up. And I'm not asking you to wear a button up. I'm just saying that
Understood.
I wear whatever brand I'm repping, I wear all the time, regardless of whether it's a polo or a t-shirt or a jacket, right? I mean, we're always wearing our brands. I just think it makes the people, your audience, whether it's 1 or 20, feel more comfortable that the company is more well established. And it sounds like you've actually had some traction with this new version of the brand. So that's my criticism. But I really do want to go back to the compliment because I really do think it's great. We have a little Yorkie. What does she weigh? 6 pounds. She acts like she's dead when we put a collar on her. So it wouldn't benefit us to have that on her. Plus the size of that was the question that I had for you. The size that you held up looks like it would be like half her height. So
it's about a ½ inch high and 1 inch wide.
Oh, really? It looked larger when you held it up. Okay, that's more.
It's just like actual size.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we do have them on small dogs. And thank you for that criticism about the presentation, because I have done it multiple times, and that's the first time anybody said that. So I will definitely grow off of that.
Great. Glad to help. Oh, are you familiar? We have somebody in the room who's a representative. Familiar with that organization?
What's the SBDC?
Small Business Development Center.
No, I'm not.
Scott, do you want to come a little closer? I could move the computer. The camera's going to be like all up in your face, but I'm sorry. Now this is another technology issue.
I'm not here to pitch the small business development.
No, but it's helpful for everybody.
But
in the room.
Steve, there you go.
Take a seat. Anything feedback to give, you're gonna have to come up here.
So I'm Scott Nye, and I'm the area
Scott.
director of the Small Business Development Center. It's the University of Florida Small Business Development Center. I live at Clayton State. There's 18 locations of us all across the state, but we are a national or part of a national organization. So every state has a small business development center. So if you just Googled Florida Small Business Development Center, you will find the center that's closest to you. Everything that we do is at no cost to you, the small business owner. So we walk alongside small businesses to help them grow and learn and educate. So they have and every state is organized just a little bit different, but I would encourage you to reach out and schedule that discovery call with whoever is the closest office to you. Every county in every state is represented. So our Clayton State office covers Clayton, Henry, and Spalding County. So wherever the closest office is to you, it may be 2 hours away, but the county will be served by that office that you live in. So, and they have reached back across the entire state to consultants that have all sorts of ranges of experience and breadth and depth of their own personal and professional lives that they bring to the table. So the things that Jason is talking about, if you want to refresh a business plan, if you need help, as you grow, if you're hiring people and you need an employee handbook, if you need help with import export because I'm not sure where those tags are being produced. Our Georgia office our Georgia organization has import export specialists. So all of those services are available to you at no cost. So I would encourage you to reach out as you're building this brand, and they can walk alongside you to help kind of keep you between the white lines as you work to grow.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that. I will check that out today.
Yeah, you mind coming up to the chair?
You're in the hot seat.
Hi there, my name is Melinda.
Hi, Melinda.
I have a question regarding how it works. So I'm a dog owner. I would love to have a backup to a microchip. It just makes sense. So how do I go about getting my information on your system? And then I understand that someone scans it and sees my information, but what does that look like and how streamlined is the process?
It's really super simple. If you own a tag, you go to mydoggytag.com. You click on activate tag, you put in your tag number, and then you put in the information that you want. You don't have to download any apps. You don't have to be a computer whiz. If you need to edit the tag, you go back in, you click on activate tag, you choose edit from the list, and then just put down the information that you want to change. And that's it.
Okay, so without any login, could anybody change that information?
Well, they could, but if they change any information like an address, an owner's name, something like that, we save the information, but then we contact the owner and go, hey, did you make this change? If it's just changing a prescription or something like that, we still notify you every time there's been a change, and we save backups of the data. The reason we've gone without a login and a password is there is another company that makes something similar to this. And anytime that you have a login and a password, that means the data is stored on site. And if the website is down or they go out of business, your item no longer works and people don't even know. Ours is not stored on our site. If our site gets hacked, all they can do is mess with my goofy programming, but they can't actually access your information. So it's as secure as it could possibly be.
Okay.
So yeah, if any factual changes other than, the age, or you want to add an award and you're showing the dog, because you can put all kinds of information on there. But anything that changes like ownership or address or location, we're going to confirm it with you before we update the tag.
Okay. And then to piggyback off what they were saying, we had a very small dog,
Uh-huh.
and to give you an idea, her legs were 1.5 inches, like she was very tiny. So we couldn't even have a rabies tag on her. She'd trip over it. Is there any application where you could put it on a collar or make it smaller? And then have you also thought about using this not just for dogs, but let's say for cats, or something that you could put on a horse halter? Like horses get out. I grew up showing horses on a horse farm, like they get out and someone will be like, whose horse is in my yard? There are other applications for other animals that could be really interesting. Have you looked into any of that?
Yeah, no, I did, and those are great points. The first one about your dog, you can actually, if she wears a collar, this is not a ring hook. I went with an expensive clasp to make sure that it was quality. So you can actually hook it. It doesn't have to dangle. It can be hooked on the side of the tag. There are actually some pictures people have uploaded on our site of actual dogs that are using the tags, and you can hook it on the side.
Okay.
I have already reserved my kitty tag and my horsytag.com. I went with dogs first because being a new product, it was okay. Most dogs wear collar, a lot of dogs wear collars, where cats maybe don't. But just for first run, I did dogs only. But we are gonna, by the end of the year, have balls and stars and hearts. I actually got an email from a cat influencer. Apparently types real well with his paws, but asking me when I get a tag, would I send him one so he can show it off to his fan base. He's got an Instagram and a Twitter and a YouTube. I'm much more social media affluent than I am. But and for horses, same thing. I know most people don't think of, okay, horses don't normally get lost, but it can happen during storms or things like that. But for horses, it can also store information like bloodlines or, again, medical information. So we will be coming out with those as well, and I appreciate that. So always looking for more applications. Actually, the whole thing started because I had created the medical alert bands for humans, and my actual father, who is an 86-year-old still practicing veterinarian, looked at it and said, "Why don't you put this on a dog tag? People will buy for their dog before they'll buy for themselves." And my doggy tag was born.
You briefly touched on my last question. How are you getting involved with social media and influencers? Because this could really, get pretty big via social media. There are a lot of people with pets on social media. A lot of pets that have their own media channels.
Yeah, it's been, I've had some difficulties. One, because either the influencers want an exorbitant amount of money, or they're just really hard to get a hold of. It. You can send them DMs but a lot of times they don't respond. So I've had some difficulty actually getting a hold of dog influencers or just general influencers to actually get them to respond to me and say, yeah, sure, I'd love to work out something, but I have been trying.
Are you trying the smaller ones? Because the big ones, they want like $7 grand for a 7-second
Right.
video, but the smaller ones will sometimes do trade as well.
Yeah, so far I've gotten 8 smaller influencers. I sent them free tags, and then they used the tags, but never actually did any influencing. So we're still trying. But yeah, I'm open to really anybody. It doesn't have to be somebody with hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, but I certainly would, because I'm not really that well versed in social media. It's not my thing. But I have been trying. So if anybody has knows somebody, they want to shoot me a message, anything. Anybody wants to reach me, if they go to the website, and all the contact information comes directly to me. So if anybody has any input or knows people, I'm always open.
Okay, cool. That was my last question. Thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments? Stephen, I'm curious, just as a poll, if you will, is as for entrepreneurs in the room, just general comment about entrepreneurialism. This type of business, what you gave us the timeline of where you're at, how you've grown. I'm curious to know, is this your full-time business? Do you have something else going on? How much time do you invest in this? I'm going to follow that up because then I'm going to shut up. I'm just curious because I have something similar that is a side business for me that's really having a hard time growing. I'm putting a lot into social media, video, all these other things that are supposed to help me get my message out without me personally being involved because my time is very limited. So I'm curious just to hear how another entrepreneur is handling that. Like you said, you have a deal in Miami and Gainesville, but you're in Ocala. So I think you're in Ocala. So
Right.
I'm just, are you taking road trips to go and visit these vet clinics? You know, like how are you pounding the pavement, as they say?
Right. Well, the vet clinics in Miami, as I mentioned, my father's a veterinarian in Miami, so he's the one who got me the inroads there. The one in Gainesville, I had just sent out some email queries. I am spending the majority of my time doing this, working on the medical alert bans. I also have a couple other things, the How Did We Serve You, that I'm still working on, and another product called Amber Heroes, where we put QR codes on images of children and give them back to parents to store in case their children go lost or missing. So there's a number of things that I'm focusing on, but what I found with this is this and the medical alert bans, because that I had real trouble getting traction on, because I think when you're just sharing the idea, people go, oh yeah, that sounds good, that sounds good, but they actually have to see it. And I did a dog show 2 weeks ago, and I wished I could have duplicated myself. I sold a ton of dog tags. The second day, I actually brought out the medical alert bands, because when people ask me, well, how did you come up with this? And I told them the origin story, and they go, oh, you have medical alert bands? So I brought them out the next day, and it was more of when people can actually see it and touch it and actually scan it themselves. You know, I can say, hey, this medical alert band can have all the information, all your medical history on it. It could save your life. Oh yeah, that sounds good. But then when I'm actually wearing it and a doctor scans it, or a paramedic or a consumer, and they actually scan it and see it, and they go, oh, where can I get one? So I think it's, we've gotten so focused on everything social media and sharing ideas, and it's great, but there are still some things that I think you really have to be able to be in front of the customer, where they can actually put it in their hand or scan it or whatever it is that you're selling, where they can envision themselves doing it, and not just, yeah, it sounds like a great idea, but the reality of it is what changed everything. So I'm signing up for more shows to get the word out that way, because yeah, I mean, if I had had help, I could have sold twice what I did. And I think I sold 75 dog tags, 10 medical alert bands, and I was watching customers walk away because I just couldn't get to them fast enough. And it was a big show, and people wanted to see the other exhibits and whatever else. But yeah, it's this is really becoming more of a full-time thing, because like my dad said, people will do for their dog before they'll do for themselves. So even though I think the medical alert band has a more noble backing to it, you know, saving a human life is great, but we worry about our pets and we don't really worry about ourselves until we're actually at that moment where we go, oh crap, I probably could have used that. You know,
Yeah.
we'll put ourselves off till the end.
Scott had asked or sort of alluded to this before about your manufacturing. If it's done, you know, are you engraving these yourself? You order them?
No, I really wanted to do these in the United States, but the problem is that I have gone for a different level of quality. There are a lot of these things that you'll see, whether they're bans for social media, saving your social media data, where they'll have a QR code on them, but usually it's a piece of paper with tape over it. And if I was willing to do that, I could produce them in this country, but those are going to get scratched and torn, and they're going to wear out. And I've got a lifetime guarantee with mine. They are laser engraved. They are being done in China. And the reason I had to do that was because in order to get them done in this country, the actual physical cost would be in excess of $25 per tag to make them, because it's not like I can just say I want 1,000 tags where they shove 1,000 through the machine and they're done. And it's not this, I'm not having a logo put on them where they can just print 1,000 logos. Every QR code is different. So that means they print one and then they have to take it out and they have to print a different one with a different image on it. So the amount of labor involved is, you know, American manufacturers just didn't want to do it because what it would cost them for the labor was extensive. So overseas, I'm able to get it where I can actually keep the price under $20, which I think is real important, even though I've had people tell me, you know, that probably could go for more, but it's kind of in that sweet spot where anything I see, if I see something that looks cool that's new and I go, oh, it's $20, yeah, $20, no big deal. I mean, it is a big deal, but it's kind of that price point where I don't really have to give it thought. Where if it's $50, well, now I need to think about it. Maybe I'll come back, and then once I leave, I'm probably going to forget about it and maybe never do it again. So I wanted to keep it where the average consumer could do it, and it's not, it's something that's going to benefit them without breaking the bank. So yeah, they are coming from overseas. I still check with American manufacturers to see if I can find somebody who can at least be competitive where I can still put out the product at a viable price point, but so far no luck.
That's understandable. I get it. I don't have a solution. I'm not a, I don't have a silicone machine with a die cut or a laser. My buddy actually just bought a laser engraver, and he's been putting pictures on Facebook of all these Yetis he's engraving for his friends. And that guy Lewis that wants to do the logo for his friend's bar that he made in his house, and he wanted us to design the logo so he could etch it. Like, it all sounds really cool, but it's his passion project that he can just sit there and do this kind of thing. I don't imagine that if he had 75 orders from one day or 2 day show, that he'd be able to sit down and do that himself. So, I mean, I get that. I had another question and it escaped me. Cost, price point, like, since, I mean, China, you said what it would cost if you had to go through the US, but since you're doing China, like, what's your profit margin on this? Do you have projections as to like how big this business could be?
Yeah, it's I mean, I really don't want to share the actual price point. I mean, but it's enough that I can, I can make them, have them shipped here. I can sell them and make it a good enough profit that I can afford to discount or pay salespeople or whatever else. So there's a huge difference. Let's just say it's better than tenfold. Yeah. And I can actually get the price even down lower if I was ordering in greater quantity. So when I go back and start adding some different shapes and things like that, I can also do custom. If a business orders 100 or more and they want to brand it, and on the back of the tag they want to have a logo or something like that, that can be done as well. But yeah, it's a significant savings overseas. It's almost mind-boggling what the difference is.
Great. Well,
does everybody understand how the microchip works? Any questions about the difference between using a QR code or a microchip, since you weren't able to hear it so well in the video?
I'd love to hear an explanation.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that explanation.
Yeah, a microchip is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it because it has returned a lot of dogs home. But the problem with a microchip is the technology on microchipping, for whatever reason, no manufacturer has gotten to the point where they've decided to make it where it was readable by a cell phone. So if your dog is microchipped, that's great. But if it gets loose and I find it, there's no way I can read the microchip. First of all, I probably won't know it has a microchip. And if it does have it, nobody has a device other than vets and especially clinics, because they're very specialized devices. So if I can't figure out who the dog belongs to, I have two choices. I can just let the dog run, knock on some doors and ask if anybody knows whose dog it is. Or I can actually physically remove the dog to another location if it's within business hours, where I can find a vet clinic that's open and bring the dog in and go, hey, here's a stray dog. Does it have a chip? Now they can try to scan it. And a lot of people don't know there are different frequencies on chips. So the vet may scan it and it may come up or it may not. But if it either doesn't have a chip or it can't be scanned, now we still don't know who the dog belongs to. And instead of being where it was, which might only be a block from his home, it's now miles away and we have no idea who this dog belongs to. And this is how so many dogs end up at shelters and end up in danger of being euthanized, because, well, I can bring it back to where I started from, but now you're doing too much handling of the animal. You don't know where it belongs. So if you have a microchip, that's great. This is a great companion, because with a simple scan, I can go, oh, this is Jason's dog. Here's his phone number. Call the number. Hey, Jason, I found your dog. Here's where I am. You can come get it. Or, well, Jason's not available. He's not answering his phone. well, look, he's listed emergency contact. Here's his mom's number. Now I can call Jason's mom and go, hey, I tried to get a hold of Jason. I can't get a hold of him, but here's his dog. And you get the dog back, because the dog may also have medical conditions that are important. It may need medication. You can put the vet's information on there. So microchip is useful, and it's really useful in the case of a stolen dog. If the vet scans it, if I just bring it in and act like, hey, this is my dog, they're probably not going to scan it to check, hey, let me make sure, because this guy looks sketchy. I think he stole the dog. The odds are kind of slim of that happening. So again, I don't really want to totally knock a microchip. It has a use, but for just general practicality of finding a loose dog, and there are a lot of collars that you can get now that are kind of expensive and heavy that have a GPS in them where you can track your dog, which is also great for you. But somebody else who finds the dog can't. That's still not going to help them get it home. So there's lots of technologies out there.
So what are you doing to address the security concerns of having that information publicly available without a login?
Well, again, it's not publicly available, because if you go to edit your tag and you put in your tag number, it will not pull up your information. It will just allow you to.
It could be scraped from the internet very easily if there's no login to protect. Yes.
Well, it's not that easy, because they're stored on secure Amazon cloud servers, and the information is stored as a PDF file, not as data string. So
Okay.
you're not going to know if I know that you have a dog. I'm not going to know where to go on Amazon web servers. I'm going to have to download everything on their web servers, and then I'm going to have to figure out which one is your dog. So for your own security, I mean, you can put your name and your phone number. You don't have to put your address. You can choose what information goes on it, and you can change it. But for a security aspect, because there's no account set up, there's nothing for anybody to get in. If I want to steal Golden Doodle, I can't come to My Doggy Tag, and there's absolutely no way for me to search users, what kind of dogs they have, or where they live.
My concern would be more in the opposite direction, more of a concern when I was younger. But let's say I take my dog to the dog park, somebody gets my information, now they have where I live.
Right. Well, you
That's
can
all.
choose. You can choose not to put your address. You can just put, hi, here's my first name and here's my phone number, and here's the dog's information. So again, it's you choose what goes on it. Most people do put the address. If somebody's really, if they see you and your dog, they can also follow you home. So it's a shame that we have to think of these things in this day and age. But again, you control what information goes on there. So I would definitely tell people, don't put anything on there that if somebody scans it and sees it is going to become problematic for you. But you control that aspect of it, so you can keep it as minimal as possible.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I have a question about how many doggy tags have you sold already?
About 250 so far, and sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's now that I'm getting it in front of people, it's just a matter of if I have them, they sell a lot more quickly, and I am expanding the ways that I go about it. The ideas on fundraisers and things like that. So again, this is all relatively new, and it was just I thought of it. A week later, I was contacting manufacturers. Then I had them made. Then I had them in hand, and I've just kind of been, stumbling along. I didn't have the, all the plans in place for how I was going to do it once I got them, which probably would have been a good idea. But I was just so enthused with the idea that I got the tags and then said, okay, now what am I going to do with them? So I'm just starting to find ways that are, and it's really just a matter of get anybody who sees them, the reaction is always the same. Very, very few criticism or complaints. Most of the time it's, if it's a really small dog, because it hangs too much, but it weighs less than an ounce. So it's not problematic that way, but really it's just things are picking up.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
I do. Also, well, I know that you said that you have sold 250. What are your channels? What are your current channels?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
What are the current
Sales
sales channels?
Right now, the primary is just direct sales. getting them to where people can see them. I do incentivize for people to share and get me referrals. I know I don't know if you saw it in the video, but there was a little thing at the end where anybody buys a tag, they have a chance to win $10,000. That's really not gimmicky. A lot of companies will say that, and we've seen it 1,000 times, and nobody knows anybody who's ever won anything. So what I do is, if somebody buys a tag, takes a picture of their dog wearing the tag and uploads it to the website, I send them 2 lottery scratch-off tickets worth up to $10,000 each. So they actually legitimately have a chance to win the money. And for every person they refer, they say, you say you buy a tag and you have tag number 27, and you tell a friend they buy a tag and they put down they were referred by tag number 27. We send the person who referred them a lottery scratch-off ticket for every person they refer. So that's just starting to pick up as well. People are, if you actually go to the website and look, where there's a tab for our clients and there's pictures of the dogs wearing the tags, people are starting to upload them and starting to share, because I wanted to make it worthwhile for people to actually, tell people, hey, look what I'm doing and here's why. I've also just started to get involved with dog breeders. I found my first breeder of European Shepherds who purchased 10 tags. She's got a litter of 10, so she bought 10 tags, and she's going to give them to the new owners with the pups, and we'll be sharing that information with other breeders as well. So it's the sales channels are growing.
And then what kind of incentives are you plan on giving to the vets?
Would you say, what incentives am I giving to the vets?
Have you thought of any kind of incentives, like for the vets, for the veterinarians?
Is there a revenue share? I was wondering that.
Oh, okay.
Do they
Yes,
make money on?
there's 2 ways they can do it. There's the ineffective way, which is the first way I came up with, which was I created some table tents they could put up that would have like a discount code on it, and the vets would get a couple dollars for every tag that was purchased from people coming in and seeing the table tent. But that's really ineffective. But most vets don't want to, they prefer that method because there's no outlay of cost. But if they can actually purchase wholesale from me, and they can make $7 or $8 a tag if they actually stock them. Because the reality is that when people see an image, even if it's got a QR code, they scan it and they go, hey, that's cool, I'll get one later. But most people are the same. They have all the intents of, this is what I'm going to do later, but once they leave the business, they go on with their life, and then it's sort of forgotten. But if they actually see it physically there, look at it, touch it, it's an impulse buy, and they buy it. They want to buy it right then and there. So there are very few orders coming in from the veterinary clinics where they're just putting up a table tent. But I haven't gotten to the point yet in my own growth where I can afford to just send them tags and have them pay me later, kind of thing. So some people are more hesitant on wanting to get into the wholesale, buying wholesale and then reselling. But I think as time goes on, they become more popular. That will probably change too.
Yeah, but then if they buy it over there, then the customer will have to send it to you so that you can send it to China to.
Well, I don't make them as they come in. I have them created ahead of time. The QR code just is linked to, like right now, it's just linked to a page that gives instructions. But once the customer activates it, then the link is redirected to their data storage instead of the instruction page. So if you wanted 100 tags now, I don't have to order from China and make you wait 3 or 4 weeks to get them. I already have the inventory. You just have to activate them once you get them.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll repeat it unless you want to come up.
So you had mentioned selling in person. You keep mentioning that people are more apt to buy it when you see it. So I assume you're doing trade shows or fairs.
Right. I actually wore a tag myself. So when people said, how does that work? I said, here, scan me. And they would scan the tag and it would say, hi, my name is Steve. If I happen to be lost, please help me get home. But yeah, the trade shows, I just did the first one a week and a half ago here in Ocala, and I'm going to be looking for other ones that are hopefully closer to start with, and then we're branching out and doing further away, or finding people, you're partnering with people in other places where they can, if they want to get on board and say, hey, I love that, let me, how do I get involved? And I'm happy to bring on partners as well, because I can only do so much myself.
Right, and so I've done a lot of trade shows for different companies, and it's a lot of people bombarding your table. You can't talk to everybody. So
Right.
I don't know what your setup is, if you have like a monitor there that shows in the background about your, the company, a short video on information on how it works. But I think that would be very helpful, because people always come to booths and they stand there and they look at what you've got, they look at the monitor if you have something playing. So it'll educate them while they're not able to talk to you.
Right.
And with the video that you presented, just a critique there also is, again, we couldn't hear it very much, but I think maybe touching upon the difference between this tag and a microchip, like you did with us, where you go into a little bit more explanation on why it's different and why this one would more have an advantage over a microchip would be fantastic, because you didn't hear that if it was presented on that video. I think also showing, because there were a lot of questions on how it works, like a 60-second video, if it's really that easy, this is the tag, this is how you scan it, this is how you input the information, and it's like that. And that's the kind of video you can show at a trade show, where a 60-second video where just on the loop, saying why it's an advantage over microchips and how to use it, how simple it is. If you have footage previous from that trade show of people buying it, using that footage, if you show them, if they bought it and they activated it right there, how quick and easy it is. Like the piece of, I think, is the selling point if you're not able to speak to everybody at the booth.
Great advice.
I think that helps with people not being able to see it and touch it. They can see the video and say, oh yeah,
Other
that's
people
really
touching it.
right.
It's like
Other people
kids
touch it.
watching other kids play video games. It's
Right.
so popular these days. It makes absolutely no sense, except for the point that you're making.
Yes,
Right?
yeah,
You see what other people are experiencing and you want that same experience.
right. It's
So-
really easy to use. It's that quick, and you can use it right away. Go home, put it on your dog, something like that. I think also with trade shows, the home expos are, you don't want to just look and corner yourself to, I don't know, dog expos. I'm not familiar with dog expos, but
Dog show.
dog shows. Yeah, I think home expos, because a lot of home owners have pets.
That's true.
Yep.
Great points. I appreciate it.
Huge shows.
And what she was saying about the video gets me like that on your website too. And if you put captions on it, a lot of people have their sound turned off. Captions would have really helped watching the video today.
Yeah, I probably should have turned them on, because the captions are there, but I think the end user has to turn on captions on their end. But it does have the captions, but that's definitely helpful. And I actually had a poster board set up with a QR code that people could scan and watch the video, because if you actually do it with your cell phone on the website, you can make the volume much louder than it was able to come across here. But absolutely great feedback.
I just have one suggestion.
Sure.
You mentioned the breeders, so it got me thinking about shelters, because I'm very pro adopt, don't shop personally. And I think that it would be great, and maybe not right now because you're just so early in the business, but maybe later down the road, everybody wants to be a part of something where it's giving back, or a part of any type of campaign. So giving back to part of your proceeds could go to shelters, and you could really promote that. Or even if it's a short-term campaign, like this month, we're donating 20% of our proceeds or 10% of our proceeds to local shelters. I think that would just incite a lot of people who do like to give back and be a part of something.
Yeah, I've actually been reaching out to shelters, and I've told them that if they wanted to do something like that, that we would be absolutely happy to.
He gives a tag to the shelters that dog is adopted.
That's a
Tag
great
goes
idea.
out.
He was saying like the Tom's shoes concept. Like if somebody were to buy a tag, that tag, you would give a tag to a shelter for a dog that would get adopted. You're
Yeah,
familiar with
that- Yeah, something like that could work. I've also contacted some shelters and let them know that if they wanted to do like a fundraiser type thing, that I would, donate, $5 per tag to the shelter. And I actually have a fundraiser going right now for an animal rescue in San Francisco. That just started last night and they are already getting the first order in. So yeah, I'm definitely willing to do things like that. There's enough room in it that we can be generous and help in multiple ways.
Great.
If you happen to know a shelter that would like it, send me some information.
Yeah, we actually had a presenter here 2 weeks ago that she's not a shelter, she's a spay and neuter organization, but her relationship to shelters, she knows everybody in the area here. I know that she would love this. She usually watches online. I don't see her on right now, but I'll make sure to make that connection because I'd love for her to see what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'd love to work with it.
So I was just gonna ask about fulfillment channels. Like, if I went to your site, can I buy one there? Are you e-commerce up and running and happy to buy and purchase through your site right now?
Yeah, if you go to the website right now, you buy a tag. That's why I put that code up, the 1MC. You can put it in. You can purchase a number. We do free shipping on orders over $50, not 50 tags. But yeah, you can buy right now. We ship same or next day. Provide the tracking information. Everything is real quick. We want to be, we want to take care.
Are you working in any other channels, like either an Amazon shop or like some other marketplace like eBay or something like that?
Have not done Amazon only because the cut they take. And it's something people aren't necessarily looking for. And there's too many things to get through the search engine to get, when they search for it on Amazon to find, what you're doing. Have not tried eBay. That might not be a bad idea. Again, I don't know, what the odds are that somebody's actually going to search and the tag's going to come up, but it certainly can't hurt to try those channels.
So with regards to those channels, not that I'm an expert on eBay or on Amazon at all, I'm more familiar with eBay, but there are SEO tricks and there are SEO managers even for those channels. So you can figure out a way to do some manipulations here or there, but that was just really like a side comment. My other concern or my other thought would be more based on trying to leverage organic traffic or organic views through social media. And I know you probably have heard this 1,000 times, get on social media. Well, there's other people who can do that for you. There's social media managers or there's growth marketers. And yeah, okay, maybe you're not going to pay for a campaign. You'll have to pay for this person to do this work. But I can't emphasize enough just how many rescue pages or rehoming pages or foster pages there are throughout Facebook and throughout Instagram and probably TikTok as well. There's like so many people really involved in rehoming and saving animals, et cetera, et cetera. So I can't emphasize enough how you can probably get a lot of traffic and eyeball views and whatever in your product just by having somebody reach out to the rescue or rehoming or fostering type, or even some vets as well. That can really probably help out a lot as well. And the last thing I have to say is the human implication. So I have a father, he's aging, he's probably going to be getting some dementia. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if that application could apply to what is it called, silver alert?
Yes.
So like what sometimes with senior citizens, they dementia, they get out and then they're just out in the world, they're kind of lost. So they don't, they can kind of like get lost in a lot of different ways. So anyways, that's sort of like an additional human implication, which is not unlike the medical version for humans as well. So
I would get one for my
could be a different sort of marketing name, say. As well.
MedAlert, MedAlert is what he presented to 1 Million Cups here with us. I don't know how long ago, I forget, but they are also very much available if you're interested in that. Stephen, am I presumptuous to assume that 1MC is a discount code at MedAlert also?
I can set that up. That's not a problem.
I think
It's no longer Med Alerts. I've changed the name to My Alert Band, so it's myalertband.com. But in the interim, if anybody is interested, there's information on there. It works pretty much the same. It's completely secure. You can store an entire medical history, and if you will send me a message through the site and say, hey, I was at the 1 million cups, send me a discount code, and I will email you a code that you can use and get a discount on the medical alert bands, because they really are an excellent source of protection, convenience, and yeah, it was the father of the My Doggy Tag, but yeah, we have them in stock. They are available. So yeah, myalertband.com, and I'll be more than happy to hook you up. Just send me a quick message.
It's great. Well, Stephen, we are well above the top of the hour here, so I'm going to end things. But once again,
Thank you for having me.
And best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. You all have a blessed day.
Take care.